Alright, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to Real Madrid Hub again. I'm your host, Dr. Jota, and this time I'm gonna make a video, a more optimistic video than the last one. I mean, it's gonna be a longer video because in the last one, as you know, I was pretty much talking about the possibility of the fail of the signing of Kylian Mbappe for Real Madrid. And yeah, it's very sad news, and it tastes me really bad. But on the other hand, I think it's a reality. I mean, it's something that can happen. So we have to be aware and we have to be advised that Kylian Mbappe might arrive to Real Madrid the next year and not this year. But I don't want to spend more time talking about that, and I want to change completely the topic. And I would like to give you my own take on what the defense line, the back line of Real Madrid will like under Ancelotti's command, because I think that we have a bunch of options for the back line, but the thing is to figure what is going to happen with the players, because as you know, right now we still have to know something about Sergio Ramos, which is pretty much that he will leave Real Madrid. Of course, we also have to know something regarding to Rafa Varane, who also apparently is going to leave Real Madrid as well. And of course, we still have, we still have to know what is going to happen with the possible signing of another center back, which is whether Jules Koundé or Pau Torres, who are the most, closer players to sign for Real Madrid according to the rumors and media and all the stuff. So let's get started with this, and let's get started speaking about the right back. I mean, who is going to be in the right back in the Real Madrid, in the back line? Of course, in my opinion, I don't think that Ancelotti is thinking, I mean, from a tactical formation standpoint, I don't think that Ancelotti will play, no matter what, with a formation of three center backs. I mean, three players in the back line. That 3-5-2 that we saw last season with under Zinedine Zidane is something very specific for that moment, and just because of the injured players that we had in that moment, but not just because Real Madrid really liked to play under that formation, you know what I'm saying? So I'm ruling out completely the possibility for Ancelotti to form the squad with a 3-5-2, 3-4-3, 3-3-4, or things like that, you know what I'm saying? So considering that we are going to have a four-man back line, the first one in the right back should be Dani Carvajal. I mean, as you know, we also have to Odriozola, and we might even have to Achraf Hakimi, but apparently Achraf Hakimi is going to sign for PSG. And also we have to Lucas Vazquez, but in my opinion, Lucas Vazquez will play a little bit farther than that position, more forward than defense, or at most maybe he might play as another winger, fullback, or whatever you want to call it. But in my opinion, again, Carvajal will be the first option for Carlo Ancelotti, and Odriozola is the same thing. In my opinion, Odriozola will not have a single chance to play in this Real Madrid. So Carvajal, in my opinion, will be lined up in this formation. And then if we move to the right and we start to talk about the center backs, here is when all the problems come up. Why? Number one, let's consider that Sergio Ramos and Varane leave Real Madrid. So we are not counting on them for the next season, right? So what do we have so far? We have Militao on one hand, and on the other hand, David Alaba and also Nacho Fernandez. So, in my opinion, if you think about the age, then Nacho Fernandez should start from the bench because he's beyond his 30s, and David Alaba didn't come to Real Madrid to start from the bench, you know what I'm saying? So if David Alaba is in Real Madrid, it's because any single coach is going to line up to David Alaba as a first choice, first option, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's still 28, a lot of experience, a lot of matches in his bag, and playing for Bayern Munich, and of course a super high salary. So all this kind of data and details lead to me to think that he will be in the lineup every single time. The other position in dispute is the second position of center back. I mean, who is going to be the partner of David Alaba? Militao or Nacho Fernandez? In my opinion, Militao has more chances to become the partner of David Alaba than, and playing along with David Alaba than Nacho Fernandez. And it's just because of the age. I mean, there's no any other thing behind that. Okay, Militao is great. I mean, he did a great job over the last, 6 to 7 games of the season. He excelled, and in my opinion, he succeeded becoming the natural replacement for Rafa Varane. I mean, he did a great job, super smart guy in the aerial duels. He wins everything, super right quick to cut off every single chance of the rivals. I mean, he can carry up the ball as well. So he has a lot of, abilities and skills to become the first choice or the first option as well for Ancelotti. So in my opinion, Militao is a little bit ahead of Nacho Fernandez. And then if we move on to the left, we will find theoretically, Ferland Mendy. But here is another problem. Who is going to be in the left back in Real Madrid? Ferland Mendy or David Alaba? That is the thing. If you remember, when Carlo Ancelotti and David Alaba were in Bayern de Munich, Carlo Ancelotti, or better said, David Alaba only played 11 games out of 54 as a center back. So that's why a lot of people out there are thinking that Carlo Ancelotti might use David Alaba as the left back and not the center back. So that way, we might see Ferland Mendy as the other center back, which is, in my opinion, a little bit weird. And honestly, I don't think that there are so many chances for Ferland Mendy to become the other center back. In my opinion, in that situation, Nacho Fernandez would be ahead of Ferland Mendy for the other position of center back. So he might form again the couple of the center backs along with Militao like this last season. But it's still something that, that is the big question. And that question is still in the air, and it's something that we will figure as of the preseason and when Ancelotti starts to try different positions, different players, and all this stuff. And then the last thing regarding to the defense, it's going to be the fourth center back or the other signing that Real Madrid is looking for. As you know, Pau Torres and Jules Koundé, specifically this last one, Jules Koundé, has been, surrounding the Real Madrid loop over the last months, and Real Madrid might go ahead and sign him for the next season. I mean, the thing is, if you don't sign any other center back, and you're assuming that Sergio Ramos and Rafa Varane will leave, in that situation, you only have 3 center backs, which is a very short. I mean, you will be very short of manpower for the season. You know what I'm saying? So that way, you will be forced to sign another center back, a fourth center back. For example, say Jules Koundé. But the problem at the same time is, how are you going to put Jules Koundé on the bench? How are you going to put David Alaba on the bench or even Militao on the bench? That is impossible to imagine. I mean, these guys are not done for the bench. These guys are supposed to be for the lineup. That's it. Problem is, if you have to pick 2 of those, 2 of 4, 2 players out of 4, then you will have a problem. Because you will have to pick, and then the players that will have to start from the bench will probably feel, kind of frustrated, disappointed because they're not playing. And then all the typical problems in these situations will come up again. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know what is going to happen, but in my opinion, if Sergio Ramos or Rafa Varane leave Real Madrid, then Real Madrid will have to sign a fourth center back. Because we really need players enough to face off the whole season. You know what I'm saying? So that is pretty much what the defense line will look like in this Real Madrid of Carlo Ancelotti. So now let me know your thoughts about that. Just comment in the section below, and of course subscribe to my channel, Real Madrid Hub.